Alrighty, so back to this picture of our brain. So our enormous, beautiful brain, if you look at it in this direction, that's kind of what it is. All that gray matter is our prefrontal cortex. So kind of like a mushroom, gray, balloony, soft thing right over the top, and that's our wisdom brain. That's the most recently developed part of the brain. That's the part of the brain that has the ability to maybe make choices from wisdom. So not just logic, but from a calm place, from a place that helps us to choose what nourishes, helps us to connect to maybe what has deeper meaning for us. But when you look at this little crocodile here, which is the limbic brain, because that's our reptilian brain. So all of us here, we look like modern, amazing humans wearing, I don't know, our Urban Outfitters outfits. But basically, we are still right now influenced by our ancestors. Our ancestors are alive in our brains, and thank you, because if not for them freaking out about seeing, like a piece of rope and thinking it's a snake, if not for them feeling like there's a lion around every corner, they would not have procreated, lived, and made it till today. So here we are, on one hand, because of expectations, because of society, when we go to work, we're expected, especially as women, to really perform in this way where you look good, you perform amazing, and yet you're nice. Yeah, which is really crazy because in reality, we're just the same as all the other human beings out there in all orientations, all of us, wherever we're from. We share this reptilian brain, we share a primitive brain, and we share, yes, that more magical outer prefrontal cortex. And the thing is, how can we be more in our lotus brain? I'm just going to call it that. It'll be like a thing when I have a PhD. So our lotus brain, our wisdom brain, is much more developed and much more our automatic path if we practice mindfulness. So by practicing the very simple things that I just shared about how you eat, how you walk, how you breathe, all of that, just taking that time helps us to transition. Because even now, this moment, I know that it seems like the yoga hasn't started. But on the other hand, it has. It really has. If you notice right now, if you notice maybe your breath rate, if you notice kind of if you're allowing the bones, the muscles, the kind of matter, that the physical body is right now, if it's a little more connected to the earth, to support, and to the space around you, and also with your breath, with just the knowing that you're inside your body, but that you're also in a safe space right now that is holding your body. So as we practice these sorts of awareness, this allows our polyvagal system, this allows our safety, our ability to access that knowing, that parasympathetic ability to decelerate stress and to increase our happy hormones, to increase our ability to digest information, again, listening, our ability to heal and to have rest. So when our bodies are in those opposite states, one is the sympathetic nervous system. That's the one that when you're on the highway and someone cuts you off and suddenly you're a murderer. That's the state that is when your foot is on the accelerator. Heart rate goes up, you get sweaty, you get angry, we get anxious. But the opposite of it, which is what we're aiming for with our mindfulness practice, is the parasympathetic nervous system, which is when the gut brain is relaxed and when miraculously people who even have terminal illness, so including myself having experienced cancer, it is possible. It is possible to, with the embodied experience of safety, to allow your body's natural ability to heal. Because your mind always wants to heal, your body always wants to heal. And we are actually, it's almost like a compass. So we're always being called to center, to kind of go where the light is. So that I promise you, and it's actually super backed by a lot of information. And while I have all of that information, I want to get into your bodies now. So we're going to come to whatever position you want to experience your body in. You might still be seated, you might be laying down, but let's get comfortable. So let's get really comfortable. And I'm just going to go over here so that I have a yoga mat. And then just allowing yourself to kind of shimmy the body. Take a big breath in, exhale through the mouth. And a couple more breaths like that, knowing and remembering again, there are no expectations. You're just simply breathing, simply being. I'm going to sound the bell, and you'll be hearing this bell 3 times. And while you hear the bell, just allowing yourself to make yourself comfortable even more, even by 1 degree more, making sure that what you're looking for is a sense of just settling. And then whatever position you might be in, continuing to rest in that and just allowing your hands to relax onto the belly or onto the solar plexus, wherever it might feel comfortable for you to be connected to your breath. Then we're just going to take a minute to feel that movement, that embodied movement of the breath. You're not even going to try to breathe in. You're simply going to give it time and notice that when you let go of trying to breathe in or to breathe out, that the in-breath naturally comes. So let yourself be surprised by that. My dear friend, breath, you're here. So just breathing in and breathing out, breathing in and breathing out. Just simply letting yourself feel today, hi, my dear friend, my breath, you're here. Let yourself notice what your breath is like right now. And you don't have to judge your breath. So just being aware of the breath and just noticing, at this moment, my breath, you might seem tired. You might seem little, or you might seem spacious. And allowing yourself with your next few out breaths to just let that have permission to be. So whatever state your breath is in right now, let yourself say to your breath, hi, you're here, and you're welcome, just as you are, my dear breath. Just simply feeling what the breath does, how it responds when it hears that it is welcomed just as it is. And then check in for a moment if today, magically, you can allow yourself to meet yourself in this moment. just as you are, what would that feel like? And just letting that kind of ripple through, not needing to analyze, just simply listening. And knowing that later you can journal, you can process even more. But now just letting yourself open to experience. Great. And I'm going to invite you to check in with your body right now. Just check in for a moment. What is it that you desire? Do you desire movement or do you desire stillness? And we have a couple of options here. You can either, if you desire movement, come into cat and cow, or if you want stillness, coming into child's pose. So giving yourself the time, and it's almost like allowing yourself to move as you like now. So maybe the body is like just melted. The body is not in this Lululemon yoga state. It's in you, in your body. How does it want to move today? And what I do doesn't have to be the same as what you choose. So just coming into what feels like is what your body is desiring right now. And then we're going to take the next minute to just explore that. Continuing to allow your breath to be part of this experience. So noticing your breath, including your breath in this experience, even as you follow your heart's desire to move or to be still. And again, if you're still sitting in a chair, that's totally fine too. You can imagine yourself coming into these shapes or coming into a seated cat and cow or to a kind of relaxing the forehead on the table. So just different options and your own invention of what feels now. Great. We'll take a few more moments to just really let yourself have that permission. So really letting yourself know that you have the power here. You can choose to go as far as you like, or if it feels like too much, you can always stop or bring it back. So when it comes to somatic experiencing, somatic processing, you have the choice to do whatever you need for your safety. Great. And now, whether you're in movement or whether you're in stillness, notice, how did it feel to allow yourself to choose? How did it feel to allow yourself to choose to do whatever your body needs instead of what anybody is asking you to do? Just noticing, allowing that question to ripple through. Great. And then from there, we're going to take it into a little more of like a freestyle movement. So if we all find our way to just any kind of freestyle movement, if you're already on your hands and knees, you might be taking some circles and just rounding through the head and the hips. You might even be standing up and kind of swinging a little. I know it sounds like, why is anything and everything allowed to happen? But that is true. You're totally allowed to discover what feels right for you. And again, if you're seated at your table, even just with your breath, letting yourself twist side to side, then we're going to let the movement get a little bit more free. So imagining if you were a wild animal right now, if you were to let yourself kind of make some little sounds like, or anything like that. It sounded like we all had kind of busy days with things that were a little bit challenging. So letting yourself now know that, especially you're in your space where you're free to voice. So whatever sounds you want to make and whatever movements you want to make, maybe they feel a little bit like lunging, something animalistic, something where you're bowing forward and then letting yourself kind of curl and make a face. And I'm just going to make more sounds so you feel super free to make whatever sounds you like. Really knowing that you have the freedom to explore. Your movement can be as slow or as fast as you like. You can be standing or seated. You can be folding forward or you can be taking the heart back. It's really all up to you. Follow your sound, your voice, your expression. So it is a little bit different. But just giving yourself that permission just to play now. It's not seen by anyone else. It's just you getting to meet you in this moment now. And so however you want to do it, just for another minute here, we're really going to let it flow. So just letting yourself notice, oh, maybe I'm feeling like finding out more about my hamstrings right now. Maybe I'm feeling like finding out more about my shoulders or a certain feeling in the hips or the back. Just really still breathing and moving with it. Beautiful, beautiful, because you're expressing what you really want to do at this moment. Just really, truly being you. We'll take about 10 more breaths like that. Just an idea of time. So just really, knowing that we have a little bit of time to transition to really, get all of this from the body, out there, through the body. Nice. Great. Then you're going to let yourself find a position that brings you more close to the earth. So maybe it's a position where you could be standing and bowing forward if that feels nice. You could be lying on the belly and coming forward, facing down. Anything at all. We're going to now let the body experience coming towards the earth. So it could be a seated forward bend, anything at all, or you could be simply seated with your hands grounding against the earth. Nice. And we're simply going to breathe there and we're going to explore. So we're not trying to make the body do a yoga shape. We're trying to let the body feel that embodied sense of meeting the earth. So whatever feels like a way of meeting the earth now, let that inform your body. Notice, what does that feel like? Have you felt this way recently? Have you allowed yourself recently to take time to feel the earth? What does that do for you? And maybe it does something for you that feels nice, and maybe it doesn't. And again, feel free to adjust. Feel free to change. So we'll spend one more minute here just in your own exploration, and it can shift and change if you like. Just really letting yourself in whatever way. And I know that some of us might be more used to kind of being suggested shapes. So if you want to, coming to lay forward, maybe with the knees to one side and walking the arms forward and floating towards the earth. Just check in to what feels right. What is it for you to feel the earth? Is the element of earth in you? Do you recognize it? Great. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Great. And then we're going to try to do something that is the opposite of what we just did. So we were just trying pretty hard to let ourselves dissolve into the earth, and now we're going to do the complete opposite. So you can either have your feet on the ground and your hands. We're going to press the heart towards the sky. You can roll the shoulders back and just really press the heart up. Or you could be seated and really trying to reach up, reaching. You could be standing up and trying to reach up and out. And so from meeting the earth to now reaching away to the sky, just notice, what does that do for you? Does it feel pleasant, unpleasant? If you're reaching to the sky informed by any part of you, is it your brain, your mind? Is it your heart? Where does your movement, your choices orient from? Great. And then even taking it into a little bit of side bending, so just letting yourself kind of lengthen from one side and then through to the other side. Just doing that a few times, just letting yourself alternate a little, just a little break between those extremes. So from grounding downwards to lifting to reach upwards to now even awakening into the side seams of the body. And notice that the sides, the front, the back, the top, the bottom, we're made of all of these parts, but very often we only focus on the face or kind of what a certain shape is. Great. And then from here, if it feels okay, you can either take a little downward dog or a half standing forward bend with your hands on a table. So whatever you like, that takes us into a little bit of a integrating, kind of stretching back, just lengthening everything back. And then simply breathe here, staying in this. And let yourself listen for a moment to your body. Listening to your back body. Listening to the back body breathing and the back body opening. So in yoga, when we consider the body, there are actually 6 layers, almost like onion skins. And feel free to kind of come in and out of the shape if you need to rest a little bit. Sometimes we kind of deepen the shape, stay in it for a longer time, almost like yin, to increase the flavor of the experience. So noticing the back body, noticing that first sheath, first layer, the physical body. So just noticing your physical body as you're in any shape, this shape. What do you notice? What do you notice in the physical body? Great. And then from there, allow your awareness to notice the breath body. What do you notice about your breath body in this shape? Then notice your energy body. What do you notice about your energy body in this shape? And notice as you stay in this shape, if there are any kind of colors or images or sounds that arise for you in this shape. If there are any sensations in this shape arising, what are they? Can you see them, feel them, smell them, hear them? Is there a thinking dimension to this shape? Is there an emotional dimension to this shape? And again, you can choose how far to go, just noticing. And lastly, is there a spiritual, some kind of wisdom dimension to this shape? Is there anything that the sensations of the body that you experience in this shape might be trying to tell you? Great. So that's just going through those 6 layers together for the first time. And now we'll switch it up. So in your own time, we're going to make our way from kind of your forward bending shape, whatever you've chosen. We're going to go back into a back bending shape. And again, for some of us, it's more comfortable if you're seated in a chair and you have your arms on the chair and you're leaning back, or if you're standing and holding your back. For some people, it might be nice to be on your knees with the toes tucked, and you might be reaching back a little bit and then taking yourself into this kind of back bend. Then there's also the laying on your back version, where you can lay down, press down with your feet, draw up with your hips, and then however you like, finding the opposite of that last experience. So going from experiencing the back body to experiencing your front body. And allow yourself to just kind of take it in whatever kind of degree that you like. So feel free to kind of come into it a little and then kind of hang out there or come back out of it. We're going to be here for another minute. So with your own choice again, and listening and choosing how long the body wants to be there. Does it even still want to be there? Does it really want to be there? And maybe it does. Listening. And I will just describe again those layers of experience so that you can check in with the body. So the physical layer of the body in your back bend, what do you notice in that physical layer? Where is it feeling tense? Where is it feeling open? Where is it feeling stuck? Just noticing. And again, noticing your breath body. What is happening with the breath body here? Great. And then noticing if there's any kind of images or sounds or energy or anything arising for you while you stay in the shape. And also noticing if there's a kind of emotional layer to this, if there's a place in this front body that seems to be calling to you, is there an emotion associated with it? And also noticing, does this place have any wisdom for your body? Great. And then relaxing from that exploration and maybe coming back to a seat. We're going to take a forward bend, just with one knee bent and the other leg extended. You're going to make it as easy as you like. So if you have a pillow, you might even take it underneath you to let yourself just fold forward over the leg. And we'll just breathe here. And I'm not going to ask questions this time. Just letting yourself breathe and release, feeling that sense of holding and letting go, and the breath in a way flexing and fluxing, letting yourself notice, listen, listen. And if your body has anything to tell you right now in this shape, if it's asking you to shift, to adjust in any way, notice your response. Do you listen to your body? There's no blame if it doesn't feel like that's the habitual. That's fine. Just noticing. And then allowing yourself in this new moment to make a new choice, experiment. We'll enjoy about 5 more breath cycles here. Letting yourself be with what is happening now. Great. And then in your own time, you're just going to slowly bring yourself back. We'll just switch to even things out in a way, to just explore what is it like from the other side. So bending maybe the other knee, extending the leg, and then notice how you go into the shape. What is happening along the way? What is informing how you fold, how you arrive, how much, how far you go. Noticing breath, physical sensation, energy, color, emotion, wisdom. Listen and listen. Great. We'll take about 5 more breaths here, just letting yourself approach, digest, and receive what you experience in this shape. Great. And then in your own time, slowly coming back. So we're going to go for a more relaxing shape. And again, you can choose whatever support feels best for you today. Some of you might still be using a chair. Some of you might be on your mat. I'm going to take some cushions under my knees and maybe even one on top of my belly and one under my head. If you have blankets, again, you can choose if you want to wrap the blankets all around you. And I'm just going to even just take a blanket. We're going to do a little bit of integration here. So I'm going to do a guided integration with you here. So just making yourself comfortable once more. And again, still you're welcome to choose something different. Maybe you're still craving movement, and we can see if in your movement that this integration might still work for you. And I'm going to sound the bell 3 times so that we can simply allow the mind and the body to come to distillation. And as you listen to my voice describe a journey through the body, allowing yourself to breathe into each of these places in the body and just noticing what might be present for you in these places in the body. So allowing that awareness to be light and to be able to almost like a little bird that lands with your breath at the feet. And just breathing in and out of the feet, noticing any sensations, messages, images, wisdom, energy, shape and size of that energy, and just breathing. Then from the feet, like a little bird, awareness just lands gently onto the shins. And again, that kind of abstract all of these layers at the same time that make up the body, physical, energetic, color, abstract, emotion, breath. Noticing anything that's arising in the shins. With the next breath, letting it go. And allowing, like a little bird, awareness flowing up to the knees. And again, now you're more familiar with these layers, so not needing to lift them, but just simply what's happening in the knees. And from the knees flowing up to the upper legs, what's happening now? What do you notice? And today, not needing a lengthy kind of essay about it, noticing awareness can continue to percolate later. Awareness landing gently pelvis and the hips. What do you notice? And just simply as you continue to breathe, awareness sweeping up to the lower torso. What do you notice? And awareness sweeping up towards the heart, the lungs, the shoulders. Just breathing in and out. What do you notice? And awareness gently sweeping up to the neck, through the shoulders, once more down to the arms, to your fingertips. Just allowing yourself to notice, to acknowledge, to allow, to meet just as it is for now. And then allowing awareness to come towards the head. And as you breathe, what do you notice? Simply meet and allow, and maybe just make friends to whatever degree for now. Say hi. And then let's breathe in and out through the whole body, and just allowing the breath to be filled with gratitude for your presence, for your awareness, for your willingness to be here. Let your body know, my dear friend, I'm here now. I'm here with you. Notice what happens, how your body responds hearing this. Then for one more minute here, you're going to let your awareness sweep through your whole body, and you're going to notice if there's any part of your body that feels like a safe place to let your awareness hang out in. So it feels like a place that's trustworthy, a place that you can let yourself really connect to. You can let your energy, your focus rest there like it's an island that is safe. And what does it feel like there? Where is it in your body? What does it want to tell you? And if that place where you feel safe in your body is somewhere you can connect to more by holding that place with your hands, with your arms, whatever gives you that connection, letting yourself touch, connect, and listen. We'll simply breathe here and invite this part of your body that has safety and wisdom to share with you what it might want to tell you. It might be a word, it might be a sentence, it might be an image. What do you want me to know? Then bring your palms together in thanks to this part of you, to your connection, your portal to your inner wisdom. And just feel an internal bow towards that part of your body. Gratitude. Thank you. Letting yourself relax back into that Shavasana shape. Letting the whole body relax. Whether you're lying down or seated, doesn't matter. I'm going to sound the bell 3 more times in order to bring kind of a protective boundary around your experience. And just allowing your breath, again, to surprise you. It's your friend. It's with you 24/7. Feel that friend with you. Great. And then in your own time, again, your freedom of movement and transitioning, letting the breath flow through, making any kind of stretches along the way that you like to find your way back to any comfortable seat. And if you like, coming back and we can meet. Yeah. So I am aware that it is 7 o'clock and 7:06. So I understand if anybody has to run, and if anybody wants to hang out a bit more and just kind of chat, you can go, I don't know, grab your glass of wine if you need or anything like that. We can even do a little singing if you like. And I can take any questions if you like. Nice. I'm hearing that it was useful to hear some of the counseling, like the emotional, scientific, neuroscience, yeah, and also I guess some of the ancient practice bit, all of that kind of coming together. That's awesome. That's what I'm hoping to share effectively
Yeah, yeah.
as time goes on. What really means so much to me is hearing all my friends here tell me that that happened, that feeling, and me too, because of the experiences that I have had. It just really took so much to learn how to let myself know that it is within me. Because actually, we do have our somatic wisdom that, like I was saying, we do have a compass. We are always heading that way, and actually heading that way is not actually like an outside kind of way. It's not like an inside kind of way, like the coming home. So I know that things happen, so many layers, so many years, so much history, right? And it accumulates, and it's part of what I wanted to share earlier about trauma and how it works, and how our dear friend Bessel van der Kolk, who wrote this book,
Mhm.
and it's a book that I do not want to assign to people with trauma in the beginning, because it's quite traumatizing to read it because there's so much about kind of all the impacts of how trauma embeds in your physical memory, in your energetic memory. But what's really amazing is all the research that he did do that really proves, and I love this is the Eastern and the Western coming together again, that with things like yoga practice, in that embodied, safe way, with breathing, with expressive dance, with art, with creating your own story, changing it, rewriting it, all of that, it does help our bodies that become so quick to shortcut to the limbic brain, to that lizard part that is trying to keep us safe. Usually it just keeps going there because we're always like, more safety, more safety is so unsafe, to having these practices. Even the way I'm speaking with you, I am allowing myself to go to that place inside that is actually more real and more true, than my entertainer place, because this is the place that is in all of us, and it's why we all are drawn by the same compass to meet and to grow our connection back to this, because we have it. The body knows that it can be safe, has that. um it's almost like with meditation, with practice. There's another book too. So, people who can meditate themselves sometimes into these so-called the happiest man on earth states, right?
Mm.
But really it's also us just connecting to the tools that we have. So somebody actually has said, and I love how he teaches to Mingyur Rinpoche, he's like, that wisdom is like having a watch, but not knowing how to use the watch. You can wear it on your wrist for your whole life, and if you don't know how to read it, you don't know how to read it. But it's there. So we all have that, and maybe today's simple practice together kind of gave us like a flavor of that. And then as we deepen in our ability to just kind of switch from that path of lizard brain to that beautiful lotus brain, to that, more recently closer to our human development as loving, compassionate people, loving, compassionate beings. So is that access, I think. And I think we all want a better world. And so this is how changing ourselves from the inside and healing ourselves, letting ourselves heal, helps us to create this together. No.